Hello, welcome, beautiful people of the world, and thank you so much for clicking on the very first Not Strangers Anymore podcast. This is a podcast I've wanted to do for a while now because I've been meeting a lot of great people over the internet, and I wanted to kind of interview them and get to know them a little bit better because it's really hard to get to know somebody when you're just like chatting with them over Twitch or like playing like a pretty intense video game. So this is my way of kind of slowing things down, getting to know people. My first guest, his name is Scott, or TheScooter96. Go follow him on all social media stuff. He's a wonderful human being. He's a videographer like myself. He's a game enthusiast. Overall, wonderful dude. I had a great time chatting with him. Like, I definitely wanted this to be like a pretty short podcast, but it went on for a lot longer than I thought because he's just such a great dude to talk to. So, go grab some snacks. Go get cozy. I'm going to stop rambling in your ear. We're going to go ahead and get right into the podcast. Enjoy. You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, what is this going to be?
So this is kind of stemming from, so my wife and I started doing a podcast, and it's just kind of nice to just chat with people.
I agree.
Like, it's obviously you can play games with people on stream, but you're always juggling like either the gameplay, commentating, and then keep an eye on chat. So it's like you can't get to know anybody.
Right.
And so like I was even going to do like my close friends that I always play with and some other Twitch friends as well that just like, let's just chat. And I want to pick people's brains about, you know, either their personal projects outside of Twitch and also what they do like inside of Twitch, what they like, what they don't like, tips and tricks kind of stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, but I'm going to call it, because my friends and I have a YouTube channel called Not Strangers. And so I'm going to call this the Not Strangers Anymore podcast because, you know, we're getting to know everybody. But yeah,
I like that.
So do you want to give a quick explanation, your name, your handle, what you do?
Sure.
What you're about?
Yeah, I can do that. So yeah, my name is Scott. I do, I guess, content creation is the best way to put it, of lots of different kinds. I stream mostly on Twitch as like my social media content creation. And that's TheScooter96. That's where I am.
Nice.
And that's a childhood nickname I've had since I was like playing t-ball, and it just stuck.
So wait, so you're playing t-ball, but they called you Scooter?
Yeah. A friend of mine, their parent, just someone else who was on the team. I was never like, I've always like played sports and been pretty athletic, but I was never like fast. I was never a speedy kid. So they said, we should get you a scooter because then you can go faster when you're playing baseball. And it stuck. So
It hasn't gone anywhere.
yeah, I kind of just accepted it and rolled with it.
Because going off your emo, I just assumed that you were literally just a scooter kid. Like there's a skateboard kids at a skate park, and then there's a scooter kids. So I thought
scooter kid, they're always there.
I thought they kind of are. They're always killing it too. They're always way better than you think they are.
Yeah. No, I've never ridden a skateboard or anything, but I grew up on like dirt roads, so it wasn't really gonna be in my future.
Gotcha. So like you're saying the hard plastic wheels don't go too well on gravel.
No, rocks are kind of their nemesis. So
yeah, amen to that. I got a fair share of scars from my skateboard. Like a tiny pebble stopped me dead in my tracks.
Yep.
I face planted. So I got plenty of those. Well, that's cool. One of the first things though that like drew me to you was the fact that you're a videographer and like a photographer. And I was like, I love them. Like, oh, they exist outside of like Instagram. Like I thought that was the coolest thing. Because I followed a couple like Instagram people that do Twitch, and it's just like they don't understand it. So I was like, this guy's got his finger on the pulse of like videography and just like gaming in general. I was like, this guy's sick.
Yeah.
So you shoot weddings mostly, yeah?
Yeah, as of right now, that's been my main market, just because mostly people are always getting married. You don't really ever get return customers, hopefully. But for the most part, it's been nice to make connections. The big way I've been doing it is actually through photographers, because they're usually the people that are reached out to before anyone else when setting up weddings, because they are usually found for engagement shoots and things like that.
Yeah.
So people will kind of use the same, unless they have a bad experience, people will use their same photographers. So I've had a good connection with a couple photographers that they'll just recommend me, and then if they like my work, then it kind of goes like that. But it's generally a lot easier to find stuff like that rather than doing things that are like, not that weddings aren't creative, but more creative projects where it's like
Like brand content,
music videos. Exactly,
Mm.
because there's a bigger market, I think, and it's much more competitive.
Yeah.
I think that if you're the first videographer that a bride and groom see and they don't dislike you, then they'll just roll with that because it's one more thing they can check off their list.
Yeah, and it's honestly like it's a super saturated market. I mean, being a videographer is like a little bit less saturated than a photographer, but still like that's a lot of research that people got to do, especially if they're interested in something. They're like, I got the guy, let's just book him. It's easier.
Yeah, I've definitely come across a couple instances where people are looking for people to do work and they don't really realize what goes into it and get scared away by prices and things like that. But
yeah,
that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah, we run into that a lot, Coral and I do, with people like they forget that you basically spend as much time behind the scenes editing versus like actually being there for the day, and people don't understand like, gas costs money, food costs money, like my time is worth something. Yeah,
everything. Yeah.
My gear it wasn't free.
Right. They just see you there for like the 6 or 8 hours that you're there, and then you leave, and then they're like, that's kind of where you're done, because the post production takes way longer than actual production on the day.
Totally.
I just finished up one wedding. I shot a double weekend a couple weekends ago, and I just finished one the other week, and now I'm on to the next one now. So I worked on that a little bit today.
Yeah, I remember you chatting me about doing the back-to-back weddings. That just must have been murder.
Yeah, it's nice. I wouldn't mind doing weddings like full time where I can just do that, because it's good money, and it's like it's enjoyable work. Like on the day before, like a couple days before, you're like, this is super anxious, and you're like, I wish I didn't have to go, on my weekend and murder my back and be hot and sweaty and tired. Yeah. But then when you're done and you're driving home, usually if it's not a bad day, it feels good to be done and feel good about giving them their day and making it something nice.
So are you still in like the phase of videography where you go out and shoot something and you're like, oh, that was like creative and that was so uplifting and motivating? Or are you at the point now where it's like, that was just a job? Like,
I think it depends. I think for the most part, I feel good. I think I feel before the wedding, it's a job. And then once I'm doing it and done, then I feel good that it was like a creative thing that I'm able to do. It's like a thing. It's like a privilege. It's not like, oh, I have to go do this thing. This is so like a nuisance. It's like, oh, I get to do this thing that I love.
Sick. And
make something for them that they're happy about. And especially with weddings, because it's like capturing one of the biggest moments in someone's life.
But you and I met, our love story started on Twitch, of all places. Which it is my biggest fear, and also my biggest like downfall, is that I cannot remember where I meet people.
Yep.
So I do not remember. I think we met obviously on Twitch, but what was I playing? Because you came to me. I remember that much.
I think it was Golf with Friends, because I think that's what I was playing.
Okay.
And I like to go find other small streamers with playing the same game and pass it along.
Yeah. No, that was
I think it was what it was.
And I think I remember that too, because you did it on like my second or third stream on this channel, and I was like, oh, bless his soul, he's such a good dude.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a fun night, and then trying to get other random people in, and didn't work out, but it set the tone for a good friendship. And then you and I recently just played with each other
for the first time.
Yeah, and it went really well. Like all my IRL friends came in and out, but it was you and me holding down the fort the entire night.
Yep.
That was like genuinely fun. That's why I was like, and you're part of the reason why I wanted to start a podcast. Is like, I just met this guy and he's genuinely fun. Like I don't want to just stream and get to know him. Like I want to like sit down and like have a conversation with him.
So yeah, I've wanted to do a podcast for so long, but then I'm like, I don't know. I like too many different things that I have no idea what I would like. Like I could talk about sports, and then I talk about video games, and I talk about like creative stuff. I'm like, I don't know what I would talk about. There's too many things.
Yeah, like the reason why I'm like, I'm gonna give this a shot. Well, at least with like, I'll go through my Twitch friends, and if it doesn't catch on, then it's like whatever. It got archives, whatever. Because I love watching like stuff about like people's Twitch experiences, or like Twitch like tips and whatnot. It's like anything related around like live streaming, I like to watch, because it's just like, oh, if it's a video about live streaming, I immediately have something in common with this person.
Exactly.
So what drew you to live streaming?
So I actually started my first ever stream was off my MacBook Pro.
Solid.
Playing Gary's Mod.
Oh, that's a throwback game.
I haven't played it in so long. It's such a good one though.
It really is.
But it was like sophomore year of college, sophomore year of college. I had just like started getting into watching Twitch. So that was 5 years ago or so. So Twitch was still like it's definitely not as big as it was now.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still a thing for a while. But I started getting into watching it and I'm like, that's fun. I'll buy a capture card and just stream. And I streamed like a few games of Fortnite when it first came out.
Oh geez. It was like before Battle Royale?
It
how OG are you?
It was like the beta-ist version it had been. It was like
Jeez.
it just come out on Xbox. It was when we were waiting for PUBG to come out on console. It was around that time.
Oh gosh, what a pure time to
so
live
yeah,
in.
a while ago. It was when it was fun. Still.
Yeah, right. when PUBG was like, this is the greatest thing ever. It's Hunger Games in video game form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I started streaming then just for fun because most of my free time was spent either like playing a sport or playing video games. So that was just like a nice thing I could do whenever I wanted in college. It was a good distraction from everything in college.
Yeah.
Kind of keeps you sane. So I've been playing video games for my whole life, and I just thought it'd be fun. I've always been a more to an extent I can be kind of like reserved and not overly talkative, but for the most part, if I'm comfortable and just like in a group, I like to be like the one to try and get people laughing and
I feel that.
Entertaining. Sometimes it can be draining.
For sure.
Because
yeah.
I'm like, oh, I gotta like when I gotta keep the mood up. I gotta, I gotta be entertaining every time.
Yeah, you gotta keep the energy up, because especially when you get like a host or like a dono, you're like, oh no, I gotta bring it up. It's like, oh crap, that's not me. That's
time
exhausting.
to turn it on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're in college. Did you just like stream because like you wanted to connect with your friends, or was it just something like, oh, going live to the internet just sounds fun? Because I don't even think, I mean, back in the PUBG days, like, I don't think people knew that you could be like popular or make money off of Twitch. I think it was like back then, I think it was more pure and like people just did it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
That's before Amazon even bought it too. So this is
that was I think I just enjoyed it. Just like the entertainment aspect of it. Like there was a time in my life where I thought stand-up comedy would be super fun. I still think it would, but it terrifies me to my core to get up on stage and like perform. I think it'd be a good thing to do though, just for myself. I think it'd be a good thing to just attempt, and if it flops, like I'm not gonna like worry about it because I'm not trying to pursue a career in stand-up comedy, but I think it'd be enjoyable.
right.
Like, personal growth sort of thing.
Yeah,
So.
I know a lot of like the YouTube groups that I watch. Sometimes they'll just like, hey, come to this theater in LA. We're doing we're doing like an improv show. Like, come check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And because that is the same thing. People are like, oh, I want to entertain, but me being by myself doesn't sound like fun. Let's do it as like a group.
Yeah. So Twitch in a way has been like a good medium ground for that, because it's not like you're doing a stand-up routine the whole time, but like there's times where like it's live, so you're always just thinking on your feet and it's all improv.
Yeah. You get one good one-liner in there and someone laughs at it. You're like, that's what I'm here for.
You're like, nailed it.
Yeah. Or
deliver that one.
yeah.
That's the one.
The best is when like you say something funny, but to you just like, another word you said, and somebody's like, that was hilarious. You're like, I don't, what? Like, what did I say?
Yeah.
Crap, I need to clip that. What did I just say?
Yeah, that's the best moment, is where it's just like, especially I think what makes doing live streaming enjoyable is getting a good group to play with. Not that you need people to be successful, but I think surrounding yourself with people who work well with your improv is pretty important.
Definitely brings the energy up for sure.
Yeah, it's always, solo streams can be hard.
For sure.
Especially if it's like a slow night.
Yeah.
Like if it's a slow night, like for me, like this is the group I've been playing with So we're just playing games and having fun and being ourselves. And then like if people enjoy that, then that's the bonus, you know?
Yeah, it's like this.
But we don't try and do anything that isn't organically us. I mean, sometimes we might ham it up a little bit and like, you know, yell at each other a little extra over something because,
Yeah.
you know, we've got people there watching, but
Gotta put on a
we
show.
try to just, yeah.
But it's a lot, yeah, no, but
we,
having a group to stream with is definitely a lot easier than you just like riffing for, 3 hours,
yeah.
playing a game. Like, this is borderline sad. I've had 2 viewers for 3 hours, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's me watching myself on my phone and like my mom.
Yeah, right.
Somebody that just forgot to close my stream from 3 days ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Twitch is an interesting beast because of that, where it's like you can't really like it's kind of up to you to grow and like find people to hang out with. And It doesn't do any of the work for you. But that's kind of why I like it too. It's like it's all up to you. It's all like, your growth is up to you, which is why I kind of like it. No excuses.
That's been, I think, partially something that I regret a little bit. Is I've been streaming for a year, like excluding all the times I was streaming like one-offs back in college. I've been like full like streaming pretty regularly since October of last year. So I've hit my anniversary recently. That's exciting. I don't know the exact day. Thank you. But it's been, I don't know, it's been really fun to just kind of when I'm done streaming, like whether I have just me or a couple of viewers, some nights I'll have, depending on the game, if it's like a game that chat is involved in, I'll have more and I can bring them to other smaller streamers. Like when I raided your channel that time, that's been, I think, the most fun way for me to grow and meet new people. But on the, like on a similar thing, I also regret not doing more for myself, my own channel and my content, like making YouTube videos or pushing like once every couple days or whatever, like pushing stuff to social media. Especially now with like TikTok, trying to take advantage of that.
For sure.
So I think you have to pace yourself, because I've like I edit a lot for my work, so the last thing I want to do is like edit a gaming video that I just have to skim 6 hours of footage and like clip out some stuff that I just played, and you know it's tough. But.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up because I was literally having that dilemma today. It's a Sunday when we're doing this, and I was like, oh, I don't have to do something until later, and in my brain I was like, he's probably going to cancel, so I should just start streaming. And then I was in my brain like, okay, like what is streaming going to get me? Like, okay, it'll be like crowd service for the 3 people that are, want to watch me. But then but then realistically you can think, okay, like behind the scenes, like, making a video, podcast, editing something's like way worth your time if you want to grow. But then but it's instant gratification if you stream, because you get your friends, you're just playing a game, you're just chilling. It's like, oh, this is like way more easier to justify work, I guess, is when you're streaming and playing a video game. But sometimes like it could be detrimental if you just stream for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, and not doing anything else.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely, it's a really tough balance, because I'm sure, I don't want to speak for you, but personally, I think a lot of streamers go through moments of doubt where they're like, is this worth my time? Like, could I be using this 3 or 4 hours I spent streaming tonight doing something else? Even like outside of streaming world, like could I have been doing something around the house or running errands when I could have been doing this? And so I think I've had moments where I'm like, I'm streaming 5+ nights a week for 3-4 hours, longer on the weekends, sometimes like 6-hour streams, and I'm like, is it worth my time to do this? And then at the end of the day, I think what it comes down to is enjoying it or not. So like I justify it because like I don't care, like if I somehow make a living off of Twitch and I can quit my job and do all that, then like cool. But like I don't want to like go into it with that being the goal. Like I just enjoy entertaining, and like I'm just as like, if I had, granted I don't know how I'd react if I had like tens of thousands of people on Twitch, but like if I have just a couple people and we're just like chatting, and like that's fun, like I enjoy that too.
Oh, and yeah, and you're not speaking for me. That's exactly how I feel. Like, I don't know if like, is Twitch always like the best use of my time, but you ended up, like, yeah, like you said, at the end of it, you end up actually enjoying it. Like, oh, like I connected with a couple friends and like played some games. Like, and the same thing, like if you make money off of it, it's just a bonus. Cause if you really think about it, you're just playing games with friends and you're making a couple bucks at it, which is, I mean, and if you didn't stream, then you wouldn't be getting that. So
right, exactly.
You're making somebody's day, you're helping yourself out, you're enjoying it. So that's what's important.
That's what I like too, is like I've met people that are regulars that come in and like when they're gone for a little bit and I see them again, I'm like, oh, like tell me how things have been. And it's nice to just make that, like, I'm always someone who loves to make friends. Like the process of making friends I think is fun. Like meeting someone new I think is enjoyable. And then finding them coming back is like, oh, nice. I'm not a piece of garbage. Like you actually enjoy being here, you know, like it's nice getting that like return customers are always the best because you're like, oh, okay, I did it right. So, yep. Because that's the thing with Twitch too, is like it's so saturated right now, especially right now. With all the like celebrities that are out of work is not really a great way to describe a lot of them. Right. Yeah. Like people are at home during COVID and like you'd think being like, oh, everyone's home, they can just watch Twitch. But then like there's also so many more people streaming to begin with that it's super saturated and it can be discouraging when there's, you look at a game that you're streaming and there's like that hundreds of people all on one viewer and you're like, wow, how do I set myself apart from the and there's like it's tough to stick out because Twitch doesn't do anything special to make your channel stick out over anyone else's. Like,
no, it's
like you just have to be like when someone's there, you have to get them.
Yeah,
like you have to hook them in the first however long they're there, or they're gonna leave and they're not gonna find you again.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I like to watch is like, how do you get people to your Twitch? It's like, well, Twitch should always be a hobby. Like it should be like if there's like, if you kind of
don't go into it as a job.
Yeah, if you can imagine like a social media like business pyramid, like Twitch is like on the bottom. Like everything should kind of trickle down to Twitch. It should be like, YouTube content to Twitter or Instagram, whatever. And then Twitch is kind of like where your biggest fans are. Where people that have the time to watch you for hours on and play a video game, that's where they go.
Yep.
Because I struggle with trying to like make content outside of Twitch because I love Twitch so much. Like Twitch is definitely my favorite part of this, I guess, career. Even though I've made like $3 off of it total.
Yep.
Like it's streaming and chatting is definitely my favorite part of it. So, but it's hard because you want to grow on Twitch, obviously, because you want more people to chat with. But then you got to realize, okay, I got to put the time in to make a gameplay that nobody might, potentially nobody's going to watch it, or an Instagram post that like no one cared. So there's always like the iffiness about it all, but Twitch is like the instant gratification. Do you have any like what not to do tips? Because like a lot of people are like, oh, here's the 5 things you should do. But is there like 2 or 3 things maybe that you shouldn't do? Like things that you've wasted your time or your money on? I was like, oh, I really wish I didn't do that. I really wish I would just put my time somewhere else or put my money somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think it's easier to say what not to do because there's 100% things you should never do. But there's never one right thing to do because there's so many different variables when it comes to growing on Twitch or as a creative person in general. Like there's so many avenues of things that you can do to make you successful. But I think on Twitch, it's never good to do follow for follow.
Ooh,
that's
awful.
like a pretty and I definitely fell victim to it like at the beginning because I got a little bit caught up in like the growth of it because I'm like the way I am, I have like a relatively growth mindset with things. So like I always want to like push something to be more than it is. And so I definitely got caught up in the beginning of it when I was first starting to stream. But like those people aren't gonna like, unfortunately, those people probably won't come back. They'll probably unfollow your channel at some point.
Yeah.
And And I've definitely gone through and like from the beginning of that kind of cleaned up all the people I was following so that I was only kind of following content I like. And like if I find that person again and enjoy their content, then I have no problem like, you know, coming back. But there's definitely that's something that can on surface level seem like it's helping your channel, but it doesn't as much as you'd think.
Yeah, because that person
'cause if you
is
go-
realistically only there for that stream, and then they're gone.
Right. Right. Or they just go hit your follow button and leave because they just want you to follow them.
Yeah.
So they don't really care about your content. Like they haven't seen it, so why would they like follow you? So,
Which is so weird. Like I want to know what it looks like on the other side of the coin, where like so someone comes to you, hey, follow for follow, and you're like, okay, fine, that's okay. But like, does that person that's going around asking for all these followers, like, does it work? Like, should you be the one asking for followers and then accidentally like becoming popular? Like, I don't think that's ever worked for anybody, and I don't understand why that's even still a thing.
No, because I mean, I've seen there's a streamer that I think that I originally followed because of that.
Really?
They played Fortnite, and then I ended up like just because I was like, I don't know what this channel is. But I was like, I like to just skim through my. I follow some big streamers because obviously they're big for a reason. But I follow some smaller streamers that occasionally I'll just like pop into and just like chat for a bit and, you know, check in. But this person I hadn't watched. I don't think I'd watched them before. I think it was at the beginning when I did follow for follow a couple times. And I just happened to pop in and stay for a little bit. And I was like, oh, I'm going to keep my follow here. And they were super entertaining. So like that was nice to kind of find that gem. But they have like a lot of followers, but they still only have like 30 people at most coming in. So like follower count to an extent really doesn't make a difference.
No, sometimes you get out. Like I'll look on some channels like you have 3,000 followers and 2 people watching you. Like what happened? Like either you got botted or you did some shady bot came in. You're like, oh, I do want to get famous because that's going around too. Where there's those bots are like, oh, get followers easy.
Yeah.
Which is the stupidest thing ever. I don't know who clicks on those.
I know. Yeah, we always joke about them when they come in. They're like, oh my God, I can get famous and get free followers.
Oh, it's free cash.
I gotta go click that. Yeah, you'd be stupid not to take that off.
It's the shadiest thing ever. I feel like as soon as I click it, I'm going to get malware. My credit card's going to be taken away. It's going to be
your computer's just going to vanish.
You're like, oh no.
It'll be theirs now. Yeah, it'll be gone instantly.
Technical difficulties everywhere. Stream got shut down. Yeah, that's follow for follow. It's funny because I don't get hit with that too often. I always tell people oh, follow me, I'll follow you. I'm like, I'll be real with you. I don't know who you are. I don't want to follow you. Like, I have no. Or the funniest part is like people will do that, and I ask them, okay, give me like 2 reasons why to follow you, and 80% of the time, they'll already be gone by the time you call them out.
Yeah, I've definitely seen. It doesn't happen a ton, but when it does happen, I try to. I don't know. I'm bad because I try to be too nice, but like at the same time, need to be like I'm realistically probably not gonna come. Like watch.
Yeah.
Like if you give me a good reason, like if you share a clip in my Discord, maybe I'll check it out and like interact with the community for a bit. And like it's the same thing with people who come in and be like, hey, can I play? And I'm like, maybe.
Like, I don't know.
Maybe sometime. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's the
I was like, I play
with
all my friends. So like to come in and just be like, let me play with you. I'm like, I get it. Like you want someone to just, they're playing the game with me. They're smaller streamer, they probably are able to, but at the same time, I don't know. I think it's unrealistic to just think that someone's going to immediately drop everything and invite you to a game or things like that. So I think that might be another thing that would be number 2 on the list. Is kind of in the same realm as try not to do follow for follow. Is like as a viewer, if you're someone who is also streaming, try not to come in and beg to play with somebody. Every time you see they're playing the game you play, because I've had a couple viewers that only come into the stream and say something when I'm like playing Rocket League and they need someone to play with, which can be a little annoying because I'm like you're only here at like obviously come at your convenience, but like you're only here because you need something kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of where I despise those people so much. And like sometimes it's it's out of their control. That's just how they are.
Yeah.
But sometimes
a lot of times it's younger kids.
Yeah, and they don't know how to like say like, hey, can I just like play a game with you? Because it comes off as naggy, and then he's like, dude, you don't understand. Like, I have to introduce you to 3 strangers that I'm playing with, and it just throws off the dynamic. Or like,
and I feel bad too because they are one of my viewers, and I like appreciate them coming to hang out and watch. But like at the same time, like we just can't play right now.
Yeah, you don't want to like degrade them and be like, oh, like this is a one-way relationship. Like you only watch me, and I give you nothing in return. You're like, no, dude, like I appreciate your company. It's just like. It sounds like it's such a selfish thing to do too. It sounds like such like a first world problem to be like, somebody wants to play a video game with me. Yeah, and it's just like it's the worst thing ever. But it's hard to say no. Like, that's where the stress comes from because it's hard to say no. Because the instant answer is like, yes, I don't want to, but then you're like, I don't want to, because then it's also just like I don't know you. My friends don't know you.
I don't want to seem like oh, I'm the streamer. You can't. Like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm being pretentious, being like, no, you can't play it. You can't sit at our table. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, we're just playing. It's just not now. Like, I have no problem playing with viewers. Like, if I'm a night where my friends aren't on and I have spots, like, sure, jump in. I'd love to have people to play with. But like some nights, it's just we just want to play with each other. You know, we don't want another person in the group, or like if it's just my brother streams as well a little bit. So if it's just him and I, like sometimes we want to just play him and I, you know. It's like, so it's a tough balance.
Yeah, the hardest part is saying no because we are smaller streamers, and so like you want to keep any viewer you can. So it's like I want to say yes, you can keep coming back, but then that's selfish. But then also I don't want to like bully you into thinking that you need to come to me to have fun. It's just
I got burnt out a little bit saying yes all the time to people who wanted to play, and then they like expected it every time they asked. So ouch. I kind of had to eventually be like, if we need someone to play with, I'll let you know. Like, I'll reach out to you if I need someone to play with.
That's when you're pretty like, I need that 100-person host so I could wash out these people.
Yeah.
But it's definitely rough trying to be the nice guy, but also the mean guy.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm here to entertain. I'm not here to make everybody happy.
Right. It's if you try and do that, you'll never succeed. You'll never get everybody happy all at once.
No.
So,
because I think at some points I have it where like you let one dude in, like F it, like come on in, I don't care. And then the other person that likes to nag you hops in like, hey, you let so and so play. I'm like, oh damn it, I've been caught. Like,
yeah, I know. That's the tough part.
If you can't make everybody happy, then make nobody happy. It's
that's the thing too.
Stupid loop.
It got to a point where I kind of had to be a little bit selfish and be like, if you unfollow me and never come back to the stream because I won't let you play a game with me a couple times, that's okay. You know, it wasn't meant to be.
I like your company, but not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if it's going to become an issue, then you can stay and accept that that's how it is, or you can leave and that's okay too. I won't like be upset. I'm not gonna, especially because I'm not doing this as a job. Like if I lose a bunch of people, who are following, I'm still gonna go have fun playing games with my friends. You know? Like,
it's not gonna be career ending.
I'm not gonna curl up in a ball.
That is so. It's refreshing to hear that you don't care about numbers like almost at all.
Yeah, I definitely look at them, but I don't like stress about them. Especially, I think, especially now that I've like hit that affiliate mark, it's like it was like a cool milestone. Yeah, like I can say now that like, oh, I'm a Twitch affiliate, and like I can offer things now to my community, like emotes and various like things that they can do with bits or whatever. But like outside of that, that's kind of it. You know, like I hit that milestone. I was like, cool. Now I'm gonna stream still and have fun.
Yeah, so. And that's what Twitch is for. It's a hobby. It's definitely not something. I do feel bad for the people that stream, like they put all their time and all their marbles into Twitch. It's like, dude, like, you're gonna burn yourself out so fast. Like you could, I understand it's like it's fun and all you're doing is playing video games, but you're gonna, if you're not doing it for the right reasons, then you're gonna just burn yourself out and you're just gonna be a train wreck. And you're gonna blame Twitch. You're gonna blame the people that love you, and it's just gonna be a big disaster.
Yeah, and it's tough because there's people like you can sometimes, especially if they're having like an off day where they're not like like if they've had a bunch of bad streams or whatever, and they're just like they're there because they need to be there. They think. You can definitely tell. You can like the energy they give off and like just how they are. They're just like kind of there. They're mailing it in a little bit.
Yeah, and that's super awkward to watch. I'm like, hey, dude, you good? He's like, I'm fine. I just had a day, but I'm here. I'm like, oh god,
Yeah.
like, you don't have to be here. Go take care of yourself. Like this Twitch is not therapy. Go do you.
Yeah, I've definitely had some shorter streams where I was like, I'm just tired. Like I can't be myself and be entertaining because I'm just B, you know.
Especially on those like 2 viewer streams. You're like,
tough.
I love that one viewer, but I gotta go, dude. Like,
I know it's tough because I'm
like,
person. I really want to keep streaming, but I'm just like I don't feel like I'm. Especially if I've had nights where I'm really tired and like I'd worry that one of my friends would be having like a good night streaming and they'd come in with a host and I'm like,
gotta keep going.
This isn't a good representation of me. Like I'm just, you know, like that's why it's tough. It's good to take nights off. I guess it's not a what not to do on Twitch. I guess don't burn yourself out.
There you go.
If you're tired, stop streaming.
Yeah, if you don't feel it, then stop.
One stream. Yeah, especially if you're tired, because if you go and you're off on a day and you're like, I'm just gonna stream anyway. If you have an off night, like no one's really gonna want to hang. Yep. And especially if you're like, oh, but what if I get hosted by somebody? Like then you're not representing who you normally are either.
Yeah, just going for views.
Like that big raid. Yeah. So like take breaks. That's been my hardest thing was time management. I was streaming so much that I would just be tired and then sometimes not want to stream for a couple days.
Oof.
So like if you break it up better, then you can. I think right now my schedule for the most part is like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday is either both or one or neither. But I think it's good to set a schedule because if you don't, then you'll just stream all the time and then you'll be dead. And then.
Yeah, you'll be dead. You'll be disappointed. You always think that you could be spending your time somewhere else. It's
You'll get mad at Twitch.
Yeah.
Like you'll and then you start creating like fake scenarios on why you're not doing well, or like you'll blame yourself or things like that, and it just creates a lot of unnecessary stress. So
yeah, if you're not feeling it, just don't do it. Which is that's
right. Especially when you're doing it for fun, or if you're not relying on it for income, like just take a couple days off. If you're like, you're getting burnt out, just stop for a bit.
And it's also a luxury to play a game, which is just to play a game and not stream it. Just turn off the camera, just play a game.
I do that, yeah.
It's like, holy crap,
There's
this is
of off nights.
Fun.
Yeah, there was, like sometimes Fridays I won't stream and I'll do like a longer one Saturday, but like sometimes I'll just play games and I'll just do it for like 1 or 2 hours, so I don't have to make. Like when I stream, I'm like, oh, I have to just like do it for a while. Like I'm not just gonna go and do like an hour-long stream and be like, okay, I'm done, because I feel like it's not really. I don't know. I prefer to do a little bit longer stuff where I can get into it more and warm up. So it's nice to just play games. Just play games and don't record them. Don't do anything. Like just slouch in your chair and recline, and that's the best part.
Dude, yeah. I'm such an ugly gamer when I'm not streaming.
Sitting up. Yeah, when I'm not streaming, my chair is just like lounged way back. My mic is like 6 feet across the room and I'm just like yelling into it, and
hell yeah.
I've got YouTube or music blasting in the background while I play. And it's good. It's definitely, even if you're still playing a game, it's like a good reset to just like not have your OBS up, like not have your stream and look at yourself playing a game up, or not be having to monitor chat.
Yeah, just to take the mentalness out of like not having to worry about viewers or who's chatting, make sure you're caught up on like alerts and stuff.
Playing.
Just playing a game, which is it's so funny that the thing that we do the entire stream is the thing that we take for granted the most.
Yeah, the game itself. Like I was burnt out from video games in general for a little while. I was like, maybe it was just like the time it was, but I was like, there's nothing I want to play where I'm like, ooh, at lunch at work, or I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go play this after work. Because I'm just like, was associating playing games with like a task, like having to work.
Yeah, it's like, oh, if I stream, like, if I'm gonna play, if I'm gonna have fun, I should show people that I'm having fun.
Right. That is the tough part too, because I'm always like, what if something cool happens off stream and then I miss it, and I'm like, just that's fine.
Yeah, it's
Like,
okay.
It's yeah. Like before streaming, I wasn't worried about that. So why should I like? I'd have cool stuff or funny stuff happen while we were just like on a weekend playing some game, hamming it up. I'm like, well, that's fine, you know. I don't have to always be creating something.
Yeah,
so.
Those private moments they're like, that's the therapy. That's the good stuff. It's like, oh, that's why I stream. That's why I play video games. And it's like, oh, it kind of renews the energy for it a little bit.
Yep.
But
it's also, that's part of what got me into it too, is just like, in addition to like wanting to be entertaining to people and wanting to make other people laugh and feel good, and it was just being able to go back and watch those clips where I was like, oh, this funny thing happened. And now it'll always just like scroll back through clips and watch them every once in a while and be like, oh, that was a good time when we were playing Red Dead Redemption 2 online. We made our characters Carol Baskin and Joe Exotic. And,
yes,
you know, like
what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. They have to send me that because I'm curious what that would look like.
I think I can't remember what my brother was Joe Exotic, but I was Caroline Batskin.
Carol Batskin.
And he was some similar name to Joe Exotic, but you know, stuff like that was fun to play off stream too, because we would just go do whatever, and we didn't have to try and make content. You know,
you just grind, be quiet, and just say a couple words.
It is so fun to not talk while playing video games sometimes.
Yeah, right. Like,
to not have to be like constantly doing something. I can just like play Rocket League and be like, okay, I'm gonna go hit it. Okay, I missed.
I can have a handful of Cheez-Its just at every moment.
Stuff in your face.
Not having to worry about audio issues or nothing. Just playing video games and enjoying it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to end this conversation. Just play video games. Just play video games for yourself and enjoy it.
Yeah. Once you're doing it for someone else, that's when you've got to reset and bring it back to the roots of just playing games with your friends. And
I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect there to be like legitimate good talking points of like things to take home, but you brought it. So thank you for that. Some gems.
No problem. It was fun.
Yeah.
We'll just once a week we'll just come in and vent. We'll be therapy for each other. It'll be great.
Yeah, no, for sure. Once we get a couple more people watching, and it's like, oh, this dude came in, and I didn't know how to tell him to say, go away. Just
yeah, I know. Yeah, one of my viewers is gonna find this podcast. Like, oh wait, that's me.
Oh, he's talking about me.
I'm the one who should go away.
You're the toxic behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, dude, thanks again for joining me. You have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You as well.
All right, dude. I'll see you later.
See ya.